Hi, good morning, everyone. This is More Than Goblins. We are trying something new today. This is Storybook Brawl, which is an auto battler type of game where, well, we'll go through the game itself as we play. I found this out a lot from LSV and some of the other Magic players because I believe that the game designers for this were professional Magic players. So you first start the game where you choose your heroes, and of course, these being called the Storybook Brawl. It's a lot to do with fairy tales. You have Merlin, you have Beauty from Beauty and the Beast. In this case, though she's a bit more beastie than beauties. Both. Okay, not gonna talk about furries. There's the Snow Angel, and there's the grandmother from Little Red Riding Hood. We'll choose Merlin here. I think that Merlin is one of the better characters. So, first and foremost, you have 7 other people with you. You're in a group of 8, and your job is and the goal of the game is to get everyone's life down to 0. And we do that by recruiting ourselves some creatures into our battlefield here. And we have a time limit, so I'm just gonna play. Okay, so I just bought a Wizard's Familiar. So after the draft phase, the creatures will fight against each other. It's an automatic RNG fights between all the different characters that is going to be there. So basically, the real gameplay is at this point of the game where you choose and select the different characters that you want to have in your battlefield. So in this case, whenever you cast a spell, it gains +1/+1 permanently. So we'll cast a spell, which is always going to be in the right here. And we're going to do that, which will give us a random character if we win the fight. And other than that, I am just going to get the Lonely Prince. So part of the reason why I really like the game is it does have a very whimsical nature to it in terms of the obviously there's lots of puns, there's lots of small little things. You have Humpty Dumpty, who if they die will never come back again. If you notice here, even though both of these characters perished in the previous fight, they're still there because that's what happens in the game. You revive your characters. Alright, so because of Merlin's ability, whenever I cast a spell, I do want to cast a spell every turn, so we'll go ahead and do magic research. We'll just pump everything that was familiar, and we'll also get a baby Root here, not to be mistaken with baby Groot. They have lots and lots of different puns. So baby Root has this mechanic called support, and this is where the placement of the characters becomes important, because support means that it will provide that support bonus, in this case +3 health, to the characters at the front. So that's the way the game works. So a couple of things here. So we have just leveled up. We leveled up level 3. Every turn we'll get a +1 XP, and we need 3 XP to level up. And that means that I have now access to stronger creatures. The one with the 3 cost / level here. So some decisions to be made here. I'm probably just gonna take the Brave Princess. That turns our Frog Prince into our Lonely Prince into a Frog Prince as well. And we will be taking also the Sherwood Surshot. The problem here is I can't cast a spell because I don't have any evil character. Of course, I could have taken the Kitty Cat Purse, but I do think that getting the Sherwood Surshot and Brave Princess was the better option. Okay, this is pretty promising. Okay. So some characters have quests in them. So like this Brave Princess, if she slays 3 enemies, then she fulfills the quest. When you fulfill a quest, the character gets upgraded, as well as you get a treasure, which you can put here. You can get equal to the level of the character. So in this case, Brave Princess, if we finish the quest, we can actually get a treasure, a level 3 treasure. All right. There is nothing that I want here. Oh no, that's not true. I can use Spellweaver. So we go Spellweaver here and Flourish, giving the Triad +6. 0 again, not necessarily the best abilities that we have, the best spell that we can get, but I just want to keep casting spells because of Merlin's ability. If you notice certain things, if you've played this before and you see me not doing stuff, 2 reasons for that. One is I might just be missing out because I'm still relatively new to the game as well. But 2, I do want to play this a bit slower, just so that I don't overwhelm people and covering different mechanics a bit too much. So a number of things here that we can go for. We have True Love's Kiss, which can be really good, but it is pretty random, which is always a gamble. There's another Baby Root, and you see it's glowing here. So what does mean is that you already have Baby Root in your board. But if you can get 3 of the same characters, you can upgrade that character, or you're forced to upgrade your character actually. And again, an upgrade means that there is going to be a buff on the character, as well as you can get a treasure, which will sort of impact the board. We'll see the treasures as they come up here. But for now, I'm just gonna True Love Kiss. I want to True Love Kiss a level 3 because it does give a 1 level higher. Okay, that's pretty good actually. And with that, we'll just add that guy in, and we're good. So we have a Trojan Donkey, which summon a random character every time you hit it but not kill it. Okay, that's good. So we finished the quest there. Yep. I'll leave the mouse around. Okay, that's pretty good. We won this one. So we got a Sporko, which is a range supporter, +5 attack, so it's significant, especially at the game. Okay, so here we see. So here we see some of the treasures. We're probably gonna go with Merlin's hat. Spells cost you 2 less, just because we are trying to cast a lot of spells, so that's fine. So ranged here means that he doesn't take damage back when he attacks. So as you notice that when the character fight, they sort of like Magic, where you both sides deal damage to each other during that combat, but during that attack. But if Sporko attacks, the Sporko deals damage to the enemy character and not the other way around. So that can be very useful. There's nothing that I want too much here. So what I can do is I can cycle to get a new cast of characters. This is still a bit iffy. You can always do it a number of times. I'm just gonna take the Darkwood Creeper here, and I'm just gonna cast a spell, just because the gold runs out every turn. So actually what you want to do is that you want to make sure that you use up the gold as best as you can. So whether or not that's through okay, that's good. So whether or not that's through buying spells, buying stuff, or even just cycling through to really get what you want and what you need, is something that can be very, very useful. So we're gonna get the Nutcracker here. His quest is to survive damage. So we'll plunk him in here. The Darkwood Creeper gives a permanent bonus to people who survive the damage. So we can hopefully use that a lot better. Oh, I should have sold these anyway. Okay, so we also get broccoli. So do I just want that over the... Yeah, so I'll want broccoli over the Frog Prince. The Frog Prince is very good in the early game, but it drops off very quickly later on unless there's quite a good support behind it. So I'm stockpiling a hand here. You can put 4 characters in your hand. You can always sell them, but this way you can sell it. You can sell them when you need to. So that's just one way of sort of like banking the gold. Okay, so this guy also has a mechanic called Slay. So what Slay means is that every time you attack and kill a character, the Slay triggers. And that's an important point there. When you attack and kill. So if you're killing someone because they attack you, Slay does not trigger. So keep that in mind when you're planning where you put your stuff. Because the way attack happens is that you start from left to right, at the front to the back. So you go Brave Princess, Broccoli, the Nutcracker, Wizard Familiar, Sporko, so on and so forth. That's the pattern. That's the order of which your characters will attack. They will attack a random target within the front row and then the back row, but the attacking pattern is the process is left to right. Few interesting thing here. So we'll get the Lady of the Lake, which is just a big upgrade from what we have with the Baby Ruth, so that's fine. I'm gonna grab the Fairy Godmothers. They can be quite strong later on, and we also have a True Love's Kiss, which I will target one of the Fairy Godmothers. Okay, that gives people with Slay abilities. I don't have people with Slay abilities, so that's useless to me. Should not have targeted the Fairy Godmother. God, +3 attack is not too bad, I guess. Oh boy. Alright, so now let's talk about the creature types, because I'm getting my ass whooped here because of that. So the Hardwood Elder have a Treant support. So if you notice, all of these characters have character types, I guess. Oh, I'm dead, okay. So in this case, you have Good Princess, Evil Treant. This is a Good Treant Prince, I think, and this is an animal. So you get quite a lot of different synergies that you can pull off, and a lot of the game really is about understanding those synergies, putting it together, and making sure that everything works out. Because of the randomized nature of the game, that is quite difficult. It can be quite difficult. If, for example, everyone was trying to say you're trying to make a dwarf deck, which is something that is available here. If everyone on the table, or like 3 or 4 people on the table, is playing the dwarf lineup, then you'll be sharing you'll be sharing the same pool of cards, so you'll be sharing all the necessary pieces between those 4 people. Versus if, for example, you're playing a Triumph deck and you're the only person playing the Triumph deck, you have access to all of the Triumph stuff. So that is obviously much better. So a part of it is understanding what other people are playing, understanding what is available for you to make so that you can go certain archetypes and a lot of that. Frankly, I'm still too new to read a lot of that pattern yet. But what I tend to just do is at the beginning of the game, I'm not too concerned about the synergies yet. There are certainly some things that I keep a lookout for because there are some characters which is stronger than others. But the first few rounds of the game is to get a good board down in play. And you might be thinking, it's like, oh, why is he picking these Kitty Cat Purse, which is a 1/1 overall? It's because that they have a Slay +1 gold. So if I am able to kill a character, enemy's character, I get an extra gold. And in the early game, that can be very, very powerful. But they do need to survive, which is we're not seeing that here at the moment. All right, so the Mad Mim should be able to help us a lot in that. I'm going to use the Shrink spell, so this reduced cost of all characters in the shop by 1. And I am going to buy the golden chicken for 1, and I can sell it for 2, and I'm gonna get every single one of these characters. So again, I put this guy on the top left because I want him to be able to attack first and maximize the Slay trigger that we can get. Actually, put these 2 here because we get +2 health for our front rows. Okay, so that's one quest, one Slay that we get, and we have another Slay there. So that means that next turn we'll have access to 2 extra gold, which is great. Humpty Dumpty's gonna kill us here, that's fine. So 7 out of 5, so that allows us to buy just some bigger folks. We can get 2 Romeos, we can cast Gingerbread Party plus a Romeo. We can get Polywoggle, which can be quite, what do you say? How do you say it? Snowball can have snowball effect because it transform. Let's do that. So if Polywoggle can kill an enemy, it becomes a character that is 1 level higher than my hero. So if Polywoggle is able to kill something here, I can get a level 4 creature much sooner than what I would usually get it at, like 3 rounds earlier, which is pretty good. We will lose a couple of times, but I think that's a pretty good trade-off there. So we have another Slay character, which is pretty strong, which I'm gonna put down there. And we will cast the Forbidden Fruit. Do I want the Black Cat? Yeah, I think a Black Cat is fine here. I'll just put it something like this. And just because I still have gold, I'm just gonna do that, get myself a single gold and cycle just to see if there's anything else that I want here, which I do not. Okay, I'll lock this in. So you can also lock characters, lock the tavern, I think this is called, to make sure that you have, if you don't have gold this turn, next turn you can buy stuff. Sorry. All right, we do need to start really thinking about making sure that we don't die. So damage is calculated on the player. The damage on the player is calculated through the level of the player plus 1 damage for each of the characters on the battlefield, or I believe it's 3 for an upgraded character. A lot of these information is like in the what do you call it, in the in-game tips system, but unfortunately I don't think that there is a place where you can sort of have access to all of that in place. So yeah. Okay, I think the kitty cat purse have sort of done its job, so I just want to get it out of here, and we'll put in another slave creature. We'll put in a brave princess and gold spin just because. So this Good Witch of the North is a good support, so they only support good characters, which can be a bit limited depending on... Okay, cool. Alright, that's fine. That's also okay. Looks promising. Looks promising. Okay. And okay. Cool, we won that. Yay! Our first win. Okay. I do like myself some slays. The slay archetype can snowball relatively quickly if you can get it going, especially with things like the chupacabra. So I'm gonna get that here. I might be getting the broccoli as well. As I'm gonna select that, as well as the Darkwood Creeper here. The sheep in wolf's clothing is also pretty good, actually. Better than the black cat, I think. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, we'll put that in there. We'll shuffle this around a bit, I think. I think we've gotten enough. Oop, let's do that. And that, yeah. So we've gotten a few extra experience points from the adventure, which really helps us in getting the better characters around, the higher level characters. Though, seems like we're still getting our ass whooped here. This is dangerous. Am I going to lose here for... No, don't summon stuff. Okay, 1 life left. As you can see, I am not very good at this game, but that's okay. A lot of this is learnings that over time we can get better at, and really try to move that forward. Okay, so let's start selling stuff where we'll start getting the higher level characters. Baba Yaga can go there. We can have the Evil Treant there. Actually, we can just submit that because I have no good characters left. Is this a bit of a waste? I do want perhaps the Brave Princess to finish the quest here. But I can't afford to lose anymore. Yeah, I can't afford to lose anymore. So I'll try to stabilize here as much as possible. So I think that there is, like, that's the general issue. So tension, I guess. In the game, it really is around building up your board and synergies, but at the same time making sure that you survive. Because sometimes you just try to get the best creatures and then you forget all the synergies, and later on the other players just roll you over with their synergies. But at the same time, if you focus too much on the synergy, of course you'll end up losing as well the early games and whatnot. Oh boy. That's not very good. Nope, we're losing this one too. Alright. Hopefully next one is better. We've lost twice. This one is a heavy loss as well. We lost 8th place. That brings me down 75 points here. So yeah. Okay, so we have Mrs. Claus or Galahad. You can also buy these extra slots. It's not like these characters are always the premium characters. They circulate this around, so it's all random. So that's pretty good. You don't need to buy any of the characters to really play with them, which is in my opinion really good, really good. So this is just trying to get a lot of treasures, right? I think I'll just go with Mrs. Claus here. Just some vanilla good character bonus, which does allow us to survive the early games better, which seems like I have big issues with. So I am gonna play Cinderella and just pass that. Actually, I'm just gonna lock this. I don't mind getting a baby root of this. I do want to not have that spell though, so let's not lock it. I wish I can just like cast it without any targets, but you know, part of the game is to really figure things out in that way. Okay, so we have Lonely Princess, which we will keep here. Do you want to keep? So the reason why I may want to keep this is because I might get a third Lonely Prince relatively soon. And Lonely Princes is pretty powerful at the beginning if you can get a follow-up with a princess. So I don't mind locking that in for now. There is a bit of an issue because all of the spells that we've been seeing so far we can't actually cast. Well, not that we cannot cast it, but it's more difficult for us to cast. Alright, this is good. So we can get a Lonely Prince and then transform both of them with the Share with Sure Shot. Which is great. Blind Mouse is really good if you can get 3 in an early game, but I'm not going to try it this time around, I think. Cinderella does not need to be at the front. We'll have the Frog Princes do their job of protecting the princesses at the back. Then later on we can get the princesses that can stand in the front line and kick everyone's ass, like Juliet. Well, to a certain extent, Juliet. So here we see, you know, the two supports at the back. Supports are, in my opinion, really like powerful at the beginning of the game, because it can so easily, if you have these two together, obviously especially if you have things that triggers off death and stuff like that, like you summon something else after death, you can support more creatures, and therefore the math just sort of adds up in terms of what you are able to do. So I'm just gonna cast a Sleeping Princess here, and really try to get a spell that I can cast. Okay, this is pretty alright. I have a Brave Princess here, which is fine. I am kind of concerned that I am not getting any support. Preferably, I would have gotten some support by now, but it is what it is. A lot of these there is a pretty big part of randomness in the game, so we just have to deal with that. I think that we're where we should be fine here. Our earthquake dealt enough damage for us to carry on through. So a number of things here. I can try to wish upon a star, which if we win this brawl can really put us out there. But I think that's slightly iffy at the moment. I'm gonna go Darkwood Creeper, which is not necessarily a support, but it plays a similar role of just making your creatures better and stuff. Okay, we have another Sleeping Princess, so I think I'll go ahead and take that. So Sleeping Princess with Darkwood Creeper does mean that the Sleeping Princesses can actually grow, which is really good. 9 toughness at the beginning is pretty hard to get through most of the time, unless they get the right combination of support in creatures and whatnot. And this way, if we get a 3rd Sleeping Princess, that'll be great. The White Stag, I think, would have been a pretty decent option as well. It can boost our backliners quite well. Alright, that's actually pretty good. It buffs all. So the Falling Star, deal 1 damage to all enemy infantry. Because of the Darkwood Creeper, that does basically means I permanently buff all my guys' attack by 1, which is great. This is actually a very, very good turn for us. Our Sleeping Princess now is a 5/9 or a 3/9. Awesome. Alright, I'll just take the Darkwood Creeper. We can upgrade that if need be. Again, nothing that I really want here. I do want something to. Okay, well, I don't have. So what I'll do is I'll sell Cinderella here and just play the Treant. We will get Haunted Helm. So our creature right at the end there becomes have a super high toughness at the beginning of the game again, which I'm gonna put actually just the Sherwood Sure Shot, because if the Sherwood Sure Shot can deal can get a lot of damage in this early part of the game, we can use her better at the later parts. Although unlikely, Sherwood Sure Shot is very much an early game character, so we'll see how that goes. Just put that there as well. More likely to grow. So with the upgraded version of the Treant that we have, it gives +2 attack permanently instead of +1 every time something is dealt damage and survives. So can be quite good. Just needing to be a bit careful here. Okay, I think we're good. Our Darkwood Creeper is now 7 power. Alright, so we have level 4. I'll start picking some level 4 characters. So Medusa, can be quite strong. Being able to basically nullify the enemy quite well in terms of if the enemy has extra abilities and stuff like that. Whenever Medusa attacks that character, it becomes 0/6 vanilla statue, which can really help. So let's do that. Do you guys wanna? So I'll do 4 glory plus a Good Witch of the North. So I want Sherwood to be there. So we want Medusa to attack first and trigger off that ability. Hopefully that means that we can kill some, at the very least nullify some of their better creatures in the front row. And then we'll see how it goes. Sometimes though the 0/6 can be a bit of a double-edged sword, because if the 0/6 have supports and the support gives it, it buffs it up quite well, it can just be that we ended up dying because of that. Unlikely, but it's there. Okay. So sometimes people leave and whatnot, and so we get those type of deals. But that's all right. We have our fairy godmothers from the last game. Hopefully that we can use her much better this time around. We do have a lot of good characters, which it does trigger off from. We also have Riverwish Mermaid, which is good, as well as Sparko. I am actually gonna take the Riverwood Mermaid and put it like this. So what the Riverwish Mermaid does is give Slay to some of our characters, which doesn't have Slay previously. And the Slay gets +1/+1 permanently. So our sleeping princesses can be quite big by the end of this, with the assumption that we continue sort of the pretty good trajectory that I've been going through this round so far. So there's also Hippocampus, Hungry Hippocampus, which is pretty good if you're running the animal deck, because it can, health-wise, it can grow quite big, and a lot of these type of effects. I don't want to True Love Kiss anyone at this point in time. I think if you True Love Kiss something that is upgraded, then the result is also upgraded. So it's little things like that again, there isn't a place where you can read all this stuff, I think, unless a fan has made it or a player has made it. And so part of it is just figuring things out and try to understand how everything works. Okay, this is good. Yup. Okay. Cool. All right, we got an upgraded fairy godmother. That's really good. So something I think the treasures are a very important part of the game. You get like the Gilded Harp, like level 2 and 3 characters in your shop are all upgraded, which is pretty good. Claus of Thieving is getting an exact copy of the first enemy characters that dice each brawl for free, which again can be very good depending on what you're facing. I am probably just going to get an exact copy of the first enemy. I feel that has the highest upside out of everything else. I do want to target these guys with spells, because I want them to wake up. Ooh. Can I somehow get that this turn? 1, 2, 3. I can sack. Nope. Let's go ahead with a fairy godmother here. Every time a good creature dies, all other good creatures get +6 health, which can be quite devastating. Again, depends on the patterns of kills, but yes. So yeah, the fact that all of my guys is like 523, 525 makes it pretty difficult for them to punch through. Because the fairy godmother. I forgot to lock the last round. Alright, let's just start doing that. I'll use Friendly Spirit. Get Friendly Spirit. Let's. Okay, so Lancelot is fine. Again, we're trying to get good creatures, so that is something that is pretty decent here. It's better than that particular Sleeping Princess. The Wombats in Disguise can also be very, very strong. Do I want that? So we'll try something out here. We'll put that in. Actually, would that be better? Yeah, you know what? Sorry, Friendly Spirit. I know I just bought you, but the Wombats in Disguise is super good and super cute, but also super good. Look at those 3 Wombats. I should have switched this wrong actually. Whoa, okay. I mean, yeah, that's why the random Wombats can get you a Jormungand, which, you know, is quite significant in terms of what you can get. It's fine, that's fine. Oh, is this a bit difficult? No, we're good. Huzzah for the fairy godmother. Free spell, casting that. We also have Saltak Ancient, prevent all damage to the characters behind, which can be quite good as well. But I don't think I'm interested in that at this point in time. So we got Copycat, which we'll probably sell. Cycle through. So I think that Court Wizard can deal some damage at the end of things, just as the princes sort of die. 5 damage is not a lot. It does sort of add up in the early game. There's also Baby Bear, which is a very good trigger for sort of Fairy Godmother if we want to run that. Just get a Lightning Bolt here. Can randomly screw people over, because if they're too dependent on their support, that can get very painful very easily. Let's try this. We'll put a Court Wizard in just so that we can have a higher output in terms of damage. Oh boy. Okay, that's not too bad. So the Fairy Godmother helps us a lot here. So even though he has 2 Fairy Godmother. Okay. Ooh, interesting. But you don't get any bonus to attack. This can be really annoying. It's just like there's just so much like power, and there's so much toughness, but the power is also small. But I think we got this one. It's just taking a long time, that's all. Oh boy. Wow. You can also emote. There we go. Yeah, that seems okay without the Darkwood Creeper. So we can perhaps take that out for a... do I want the baby bear though? It triggers Fairy Godmother 3 times, which is good. But I feel that that's also a bit limited. Or do I want to get rid of the mermaid? No, let's get rid of the creeper, that's fine. Prince Arthur is only good if we have evolved stuff, which we do not. Cupid can be very, very powerful. Alright, let's make decisions, make decisions, make decisions. Alright, let's see if this works out. So Cupid thing is that it's flying range, which means that it'll attack the backline first, and whatever it attacks will attack something else that player controls, which can be pretty good. But I think in this case, the Echo Wood is just gonna run over the game because the Bear Stain bumps up the Echo Wood a lot, and that's gonna be like 100 plus something by the end of this. There's no way that we're actually like doing that much damage. So we'll just lose there. That's fine. Okay. So a couple of things here. Let's get rid of the frog prince. Robin Wood is pretty decent. It makes it buffs your guys. It debuff their guys. So we'll probably take it. The Doom Breath is also pretty good because it attacks the back line, which we do want to do. Finally. We have Gigantify as well. I don't know if I want to use that on Sleeping Princess. That is one of our bigger creature right now. Yeah, I guess why not, right? Let's wake her up. So she's 32-22, which is pretty big. Okay, good. So a couple of good characters here. Hercules can be pretty buff, as well as Jormungand. Oh, probably should be doing it more like that. Let's go with that. Let's try this one out. Okay, Trout deck, that's difficult. Ooh, the good boy does help. Oh no, this is too much for us, I think. Okay, so at least the damage is not too bad, but yeah, we do need more damage to go through. Think we'll sell the Wombat because I think it's done its job. It's fine. Sell the Foolish Mermaid. Let's get Hercules here. Okay, we have this guy, which can... I'll do that there. Something like that, maybe? I'm just thinking whether or not that the Court Wizard is probably not good enough to be there at the moment. So we can have Hercules there instead. I'm not very happy with this. At least we can upgrade our sleeping princess. Okay, this is good. At the very least, we don't die. Right, let's do that. Do we have a lot of sleigh? I don't think so. I have one sleigh, and plus C at this point is not great. So let's just do that. Okay, I'm not sure how good this is at this point in time. But getting the treasure is probably worth it here. Okay, let's take that. $10-6. We don't have a lot of prince actually, so that's not a good prince and princesses. So that's not great. Alright, well, just gonna sell that. Get ourselves. Oh, crud. Okay. We will then just do that, I think. Okay, that is very good. The fact that we killed, what do you call it? Echo Wood is excellent because that's their main damage dealer at the end, the finisher. Now that they don't have that, we can just crush them. Great, this is awesome. We killed one of the big baddies. Yes. Sometimes it works out that way. So I do want to take a Grumblegore, because I do think that Grumblegore is quite good to give our guys pretty big attack buffs. Nothing here, nothing here. Do we have a princess somewhere? Oh, we do have princesses. Can give Hercules +7/+7, so it's 29 per 29. We'll switch it like that. I want Jormungand to attack first. Okay, let's do that. Yep. We might transition to Oni here if we can buy some time. I don't know if we can survive through the other two. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying. Ooh. Okay, that changed. Well, does that change? No, it doesn't change too much. Changed some, but there's still too much damage for us, I think. Yeah. So pretty good. So in the game, they consider anything above 4th place as a win. So we got 3rd place. We got back some of that knighthood, I guess. I don't know what to call the points that we lost earlier. Still below 200, 1,200, but that's okay. I think we'll leave it off for now. That's already 3 games. So clearly you've seen sort of the better games, the not so good games, obviously the first 2 ones, but then you've also gone through some of the games where we were able to build up a bit better, survive the early game better, and got in 3rd place, which is a pretty reasonable place to end up being sometimes. Because sometimes you just don't get enough of the synergy pieces to really buff up your stuff to like hundreds of power and toughness. So yeah, with that, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me in this Storybook Brawl. Right now, I am sort of a bit taking a break from Magic just because I've drafted way too much of the sets. So you'll probably see more quicker videos of the Storybook Brawl in the future, in the near future. Those ones I'm not gonna bother talking about the rules and whatnot. We'll just go straight into the game. And yeah, with that, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.